Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's time for another edition of Big Beefy's Boston Ballers Beat, where we talk Boston sports as highlights from the Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins, and New England Patriots. Acquisitions or trades or call-ups or whatever it has to do with Boston sports or sports all over the country. And now here is the man that will bring you the sports reports himself, the master of sports shenanigans, Eric M. Lima. Alrighty then, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Episode number 2241. It's the 13th edition of Big Beefy's Boston Ballers Beat. Now, you want to know what that is? I talk about Boston sports and sports all over. You know, the four major sports. The major leagues of baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. And as you know, the Patriots got their fourth pick in the first round. Will Campbell, the new center, it looks like he's going to be protecting Drake May. Along with all the acquisitions the Patriots have made, and I think the Patriots have really improved on their picks and everything else. And in the offseason, hopefully with Mike Vrabel as the head coach, there'll be a little different Patriots atmosphere for next season. The Red Sox, they got really creamed, mollywopped by the Detroit Tigers yesterday in the first game of the series between them and Detroit. 14-2. Tanner Houck was starting and lasted only 2 innings. And I hate to say this, but Tanner Houck probably needs to go to the bullpen. I think he's better suited for that than as a starter, but we shall see. And the Boston Celtics, I'm afraid they could be, if they're going to make a run at their 19th championship, they're going to have to do it without Jason Tatum, as they lost to the Knicks once again, down 3-1. Let's check that out for just a second here. Yep. Down 3-1. They lost 121-113. Jason Tatum had a ruptured Achilles tendon. He just had surgery on that ruptured Achilles tendon. He'll expect to make a full recovery. We don't know how long it's going to be out. I think something like this happens, should be out for like a year or something like that. So, and kind of open out, at least they got it done right away, and they probably don't want to wait that far, but that could impact the Patriots' not only present situation in the playoffs, but the future as well, because Jason Tatum has been a very key player for the Celtics, and one of the reasons why the Celtics have won number 18 last year. So I know a lot of people have been hating on Jason Tatum and all that, and hating on the Celtics, but guys, you have to admit, and I'm going to admit this, the Knicks are, I underestimated the Knicks, actually. I thought, the Knicks have always had problems in the playoffs, so to speak, for any team. But now that the Knicks are starting to come together, maybe now the Knicks could be a threat. If they can knock off the Celtics, they could be a threat to take the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals. Will they finally win a championship? Maybe. Who knows? And if the Celtics don't get eliminated, I can take solace in the fact that the Lakers are gone in the playoffs. So I just thank God. I just thank God the Lakers are done. And let me tell you something. A.J. Francis is no longer will be known as Flop Dollar. You know who's going to be the new Flop Dollar? I'm talking about LeBron James. Why? Because he makes so much money and he tries to flop on purpose, and he flopped his team out of the playoffs. Maybe trading Luka Doncic would be a big mistake on their part, but we shall see at the moment. So right now, I think losing Jason Tatum, it could hurt the Celtics' chances of trying to repeat, drastically go down a little bit. But we'll see if the Celtics can get it together. If they can't, the Knicks could yeet them right out of the semifinals and go into the Eastern Conference Finals. Could be we could see like the Eastern Conference could be wide open. Well, I think I'm gonna check the NBA brackets for just a minute here, because NBA playoff and NBA playoffs and the Pacers and the Cavaliers. Yeah, even the Cavaliers are down 3-1. So if the Pacers and the Knicks end up knocking now the top 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference, the Eastern Conference is going to be wide open. and I'm dead serious on this. I know Nuggets are trying to get back into title content, trying to get back to the championship. I know they won a couple of years ago, and who knows for sure. All I know is, if you're a Celtics fan, pray, but pray for Jason Tatum. Pray that the Celtics find a way to win. If they don't, well, it is what it is. So I know Christina, C.A. Kilger's girlfriend, is rooting for the Knicks, and Christina, I'm sorry, I got a little upset, because you're dissing the Celtics and all, and I don't know how you feel about Jason Tatum, but he's one of the key players. But the Knicks are good. I'm not going to diss the Knicks. They are very good. I'm sure whatever motivation Stephen A. Smith gave the Knicks, it's working, because I'll tell you, like I said, Knicks and Pacers are up 3 games to 1 their series. If they knock off the Cavaliers and the Celtics, the top 2 seeds in the American League, not the American League, in the Eastern Conference, boom, you get Eastern Conference semifinals without a number 1 or number 2 seed in it. This is going to be a very interesting NBA Finals, to say the least. And I want to check out the NBA playoff brackets to see what we stand here. NBA playoffs bracket. Okay. I want to check it out from the NBA.com. All right. It's the Thunder and the Nuggets. They're tied at 2. The Thunder is the number 1 seed. Minnesota Timberwolves against the Warriors. The Timberwolves could be a threat. They're the number 5 seed. This is the Western Conference now. Number 6 seed, excuse me, and number 7 seed is the Warriors. The Warriors usually are a good team, and even the Nuggets are the number 4 seed. The Oklahoma Thunder, that's going to be a heck of a series. So Oklahoma is there, and like I said, Indianapolis and the Knicks each lead their series 3 games to 1 in the Eastern Conference, with the Celtics at number 2. And you know what? Here's the crazy part: the Pacers and Knicks are 3 and 4 seeds respectively. So I could see a Thunder Knicks final. That's and that'll be a battle of 2 teams that have yet to win an NBA title, and that's going to be really exciting. Yet to win the NBA title. So I think it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. And remember, the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be known as the Seattle Supersonics, mind you, folks. So there's that. I guess some huge news from the ESPN offices. Give me from the Major League. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Let's see. All right, now. This is the big news. This is the big news coming out of the MLB offices. This has happened 44 minutes ago. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players from Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list. Manfred ruled that the MLB's punishment of banned individuals ends upon their deaths. They are now presumably eligible for election into the Baseball Hall of Fame. How do I feel about that? Now, Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe Jackson, well, I know he's not going to step out tonight. Yeah, bad joke. Joe Jackson was a singer that says stepping out, and that was a one-hit wonder. Right. Shoeless Joe Jackson, it is, so I think Joe Jackson, that was a long time ago. We'll see what happens. But a lot of people were upset about the Pete Rose decision on Pete Rose. Pete Rose, as good as a hitter that he is, and he's a great ball player, he has Hall of Fame numbers, definitely. A lot of people say they're very upset that it's happening when he died. This has happened when he died. And they were upset that he's been robbed of a moment to go into the Hall of Fame. A lot of people are very upset about that. Listen, I understand that. But rules are rules. I mean, the Giamattis, Bartlett Giamatti, Bart Giamatti was the one that made that ruling. But now the man is dead too, so, but I wouldn't go after his family, If his son says it's a dark day in baseball if they decide to lift a ban on Pete Rose. That's what Bart Giamatti's son said at one point. I mean, it is a shame that it had to happen posthumously. Um, After he died, of course. Um, Personally, but it is about time they did that. But I'm not a big Pete Rose fan. I'm never a huge fan of Pete Rose. I'll respect his playing career, what he's done for the team, what he's done in the major leagues as far as lead the league in hits and all that. Outside stuff and the baseball betting and all that. That I can leave that to the news people and everything else. But how do I feel about it? So it's good that he got the ban lifted, but but it is a shame that they had to wait till he died to do it. And I know it was a terrible decision. A lot of people were upset about this, and even people that wanted Pete Rose reinstated. There are people out there that are very upset about it. This should have been done sooner and all that, yada yada yada. Then you got the people who's like, because there was some stuff going on outside his playing, outside baseball during his playing career and all. And a lot of people, saying he was dating a 14, 15-year-old girl. I mean, I'm not too keen on that, obviously. I don't think it's right, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm taking everything with a grain of salt at this point. I really don't know that is actually true or not. I really don't. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Nowadays, when you hear reports, everybody jumps to conclusions. And the whole Pete Rose situation, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I want to, I wonder if the character clause of the Hall of Fame will come into play when electing for the Hall of Fame, when now that Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson could end up being eligible, if they're going to induct him, if he gets the votes to induct him. I'm sure, I think a lot of people will say, oh, forget what he did on the outside, of course, and all that. And I really don't know how to feel about that situation. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Let the news hawks handle things and all that good stuff, because I am not a news hawk by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, it's going to be a very interesting situation, to say the least, and we'll have to wait on how they're going to deal with it. I know, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people opposing Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame. There's going to be a lot of people for Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I'm kind of like, let's wait the whole thing out. I've always liked baseball. I've been a baseball fan since 1986, but I'm a Red Sox fan. I always care. I care more about my sports team, my baseball, my teams. The Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and Bruins, more than any other teams. I know Pete Rose never played for the Red Sox, to be totally honest, and I would normally say I don't care, but Pete Rose is a baseball legend, to say the least. And so there's that. I really don't know. And like I say, I'm shocked they made this decision of lifting the ban on Pete Rose, and basically they lifted the ban on Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. I know it's a shame they did it after they died and all this good stuff, and so I know a lot of outrage came from that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how the MLB committee handles this situation down the road, and all I can say is, yeah, great. And so our Boston teams, I know the Red Sox are 22 and 21 after that loss to the Tigers. We didn't know how good the Tigers are. Let's see. I know they took 2 or 3 against Kansas City. That was that was a great thing to see. That was a great thing to see. Let me just and And so yeah, we got we took the next two games against the Red Sox. Took the next two games. It's always 2 out of 3 so far. So yeah, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, whatever the losses. We took Sox took 2 of 3 against Kansas City, and now the Tigers and the Red Sox got another game today and tomorrow at 6:40, and then we're back, and then the Red Sox back in Fenway for interleague play against the Atlanta Braves and the Mets for each of 3-game series. I'm really excited about that. Orioles will be coming to town for 4-game series, and then Red Sox shot back on the road. Interleague play against the Brewers. Well, very good. And the Braves, back against the Braves, and then back against the Angels. What are we standing at right now? Let's find out. The Red Sox. Red Sox are in second place, 3 games out. Blue Jays are catching up third place. Rays in the last place. Orioles. The Tigers are very good. That's why the Red Sox lost to them. The Tigers are in first place in the American League Central, while the Mariners got the American League West, which I'm very, very surprised at. So, and Oakland, despite the fact not having, or the Athletics, I should say, they're no longer in Oakland, despite the fact that they don't have a permanent home, the permanent ballpark to call home, they're 1.5 out. So, I was concerned about the Athletics and the Rays, and the Mets, who the Red Sox will be facing next after the Braves. The Braves are in third place. Mets are in first place by 2.5. Cubs first place by 1 in the National League Central. Mets in first place in the National League East, 2.5. The West, no surprise, the Dodgers, the defending World Series champs, at 1.5 though. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to worry about the playoffs just yet. But I'm worried about the Celtics' chances. We'll see what happens now that we're going to be without Jason Tatum, possibly for the whole year next year. That's a sad thing, unless the Celtics come up with something in the offseason. But right now, they're still fighting for their playoff lives in the semifinals. Like I said, they're down 3-1 against the Knicks in the series. If they lose to the Knicks, they're done. If they win, another survival. Listen, there's some teams that came back from 3-1 deficits before. The Red Sox have done it. They've done back from a 3-0 deficit. We shall see what happens. Boston teams have been in playoffs in recent time have a penchant for that. So we shall see what happens. Without Jason Tatum, that's going to take a miracle. We'll see who will step up for him at that rate. So we'll see what happens there. So that is it. That's all the time we have. The 13th edition of Big Beefy East Boston Ballers Beat. Episode 2241. Tonight we got NXT and Battleground. It will be looming large. I think it will be in a couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens there. And everything else. Everything's changing for the WWE and TNA and AEW. A lot of things are happening. And in fact, tomorrow night at Dynamite, we got an AEW Women's World Title Eliminator matchup. That means whoever pins the world champion, whoever has the victory, could get their next title shot. Timeless Toni Storm says she wants to fight everybody, and I gotta respect that. I love Toni Storm. Gotta respect that. That she wants to be a fighting champion. I respect that as well. I know she's right now she's trying to keep her skills sharp. That's the main key right there. Keep your skills sharp. Keep that momentum going. That way you'll wait to win. Mercedes Moné, Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing, winner of that faces the world and women's world champ, whoever that may be. Toni Storm, the Timeless Son, could lose that title at any time before All In. So and I'm sure Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter will try to. Whoever wins will have to keep an eye on things in the women's division. Toni Storm will face the returning Sky Blue. The New Japan Strong Women's Champion AZM, or Azumi, and the gorgeous Mina Shirakawa will be the fourth woman in that matchup. So, really excited about that match tomorrow night. So, we'll see what happens there. So, that's it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. NXT is tonight. Remember, a friendly reminder, Rant and Rave will not be the usual Rant and Rave episode this coming Thursday. We are going to pay tribute to the late great ECW legend Sabu. We had the honor of interviewing him. Episode 83 of Rant and Rave, just a few months after I made my debut. It's going to be in a very somber occasion, a very solemn occasion, but we're here to pay tribute, celebrate the man's life. I'm sure we're going to replay the interview we had with him at that point, and we shall see. What develops, because I am I'm really excited about I was really excited about interviewing him, and I had an honor to. It was an exciting moment for me to interview Sabu. It was an honor, and now we're going to cherish that interview forever. And I'm really, I'm looking forward to what people have to say about Sabu. And I know we have a lot of people I know a lot of people had pictures with him and watched him live or watched him on TV, what their favorite matches were and everything else. I never got a chance to meet the man personally or have a picture with him personally, but I know some of his, I didn't have much ECW back in the day until TNN rolled around. I know he had a great rivalry and teaming up with Rob Van Dam. I'm sure RBG's got a lot to say on the man. So rest in peace, Sabu, and thank you for your contributions to wrestling. And please watch us this Thursday as we pay tribute to Sabu on the Brandon Martin channel at 8 o'clock. So that's all the time we have on this show. Episode 2241 in the 13th edition of Big Beefy East Boston Ballersby. And I'm looking forward to see what our Boston teams are going to do and how the Celtics are going to try to go the distance without Jason Tatum. It's going to be tough, but the Celtics will find a way if they can. And I know I think the Knicks have found a weakness in the Celtics, and I'm sure they're going to capitalize on it. And that could be it. The Celtics need to close up that weakness as fast as they can. So if they ever going to make it, even though without Jason Tatum, someone will step up. Not only that, though, who knows? So how it could affect the Celtics' future under the new ownership. So we'll see what happens there. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful. Remember NXT. NXT is tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that after NXT is over. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and Do It for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.